All right, everyone, we are back here at Nothing Major, and on today's episode, we are going to recap a very big week of tennis, 2 ATP 500s on the men's side, as well as a massive event for the women in Stuttgart. So we're going to go over those, and bear with us, y'all. We're going to give our Madrid predictions. We've been really, really bad at that, but we're going to continue doing so. Keep making fun of us and how bad our picks are, and that's all ahead, so let's start the show right now. Okay, welcome back to Nothing Major. I'm John Isner here, joined with Jack Sock. He is back from Vietnam. Welcome back, Jack.
Thank you.
We missed you last week. Stevie Johnson, of course, and Sam Query. And also, as always, we are joined with Charlie Fox and his team at Sift Creative. Jack, I want to start with you. Sam mentioned last week on our pod that you were in Vietnam. We are really unclear of what exactly you were doing there as well. And I think a lot of our fans are really curious as to what you were doing in Vietnam. I mean, going to Japan and doing something is one thing, or somewhere on that side of the world, but to Vietnam is another thing. So please give us a quick rundown of your week over there, and what was it like?
Yeah, I was excited to maybe see a new place. Obviously, the travel. I haven't been back to Asia and I don't know how long, so I forgot how long the travel takes, and haven't experienced jet lag in a while either. So that was fun for sure. But yeah, so the Major League Pickleball team that I'm on, the Phoenix Flames, their staff and owners, basically flew our team over to promote pickleball. I didn't realize Vietnam pickleball is bigger in Vietnam than it is the States. They have more courts in Vietnam than they have in the United States. They sell more paddles over there than they do in the United States, which was shocking. But yeah, it's even crazier over there than it is here. So a lot of pickleball fans, I guess, in general came out. We just basically went around and did like some little tour of we were doing little exo matches and clinics, but then we did some really cool things like How Long Bay. They call the eighth wonder of the world, is one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. There's obviously not so cool parts and not so glamorous parts, but it was an experience for sure. Ate white rice for a week and then had a pretty horror story travel on the way back. Got stranded by myself at the Hanoi airport on the way out because they left my suitcases at the hotel. Long story short, was in the airport with no air conditioning for about 8 hours by myself while everyone else flew out.
Oh, wouldn't you just fly home without your suitcases?
Yeah,
or did
just
you
leave that.
Well, so we were supposed to go to Ho Chi Minh City for not even the day. I was flying to Ho Chi Minh. We were going to spend the day there. We were supposed to do an event there, and I was flying out that night from Ho Chi Minh. Mine was the only suitcase out of 30 people that didn't get put in a car. So everyone else flew out, and I was just sitting there at a little pho cafe in the airport, like in the middle of the airport for literally 8 hours. I tried to book a flight to just go back to the States instead of taking an extra. Ended up not being able to happen. So I had 4 flights then in like 35 hours and finally got back to the States after.
Ugh.
It was miserable. Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
So, good to have you back.
Jack, I'm actually going to ask you another question real quick. I want to know about your Easter Sunday, and maybe more importantly, how did you enjoy WrestleMania last night?
Yeah, I would have I could do anything other than watch WrestleMania.
You're such a hater, dude.
I cannot wrap my head around and comprehend how you guys like that.
So good.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I would rather watch like a cooking show. I don't even know. I'd rather watch anything.
Cooking shows are good.
I'd also like to watch a cooking show. It's no problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I'd rather watch anything else. I did not tune in. Easter Sunday was great. It was with my family here. It's been a long time since I'm able to be with my family. So yeah, we kind of just chilled out, and especially after the chaos and everything with traveling, it was nice to have a day. What about you guys?
Yeah, Easter Sunday was good. Had everybody over. The girls just enjoyed. We probably did 75 Easter egg hunts, just re-hiding them, putting them back, re-hiding them. It was a busy day of that, but a lot of good food. Just fun to be around all the family. But yeah, it was the Easter egg hunt went on late into the day yesterday. Started early and ended late.
We went to the club where I played tennis and pickleball and stuff, and the Easter Bunny comes. They like bring an Easter Bunny in a helicopter and like hover it over the driving range, and he just starts flying eggs out.
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then and they like hold the kids back, and then when the helicopter like flies away with the Easter Bunny, then they can go out and like get all the eggs.
That's pretty cool.
That's really
really
great.
cool,
I've never heard of that. All right, well. Yeah, must be a really nice country club you're a member of, Sam.
Very nice country club.
Yeah,
in the
clearly.
upscale suburbs that I live in.
Okay, enough WrestleMania, enough Vietnam, enough Easter talk. We hope everyone had a fantastic Easter yesterday. But now let's get to the meat and potatoes of the pod. Let's start with Barcelona and Holger Rune with a big title, taking out Alcaraz, of course, the Monte Carlo champion, in the final. I mean, Holger was fantastic all week. Took out Casper Ruud very easily in the quarterfinals, which we thought, that I think a lot of people thought that was going to be maybe a closer match. I think it was 2-4 or 4-2 to Rune, but he takes out Alcaraz in the final, as I mentioned, wins Barcelona. This is a week after he retired in Monte Carlo. So he obviously recovered very well. Let's talk about first impressions of Rune and his win in Barcelona. And let's talk him and Alcaraz, I guess, going forward in the clay court season. What do you think about those two players going forward? I think we all agree Alcaraz is going to be just fine. But Rune, is he a guy that can really contend these next few tournaments, and obviously the big one at the French Open? Sam, I want to hear from you first.
I think he needs one more big result before I agree to that statement that you just said. Can he contend at these big Masters series? Great week for him, but he has lost, I think we had it on here, 13 straight matches against top 5 players before today. But he did look good in Barcelona, only dropped one set to Baez early on, and beating Alcaraz in the final, pretty impressive. But we're yet to see it with really anyone this year, maybe outside of Alcaraz, put together back-to-back, not even Alcaraz, really. I mean, I guess Monte Carlo, Barcelona win in a final, but no one else has put together back-to-back big results. So until Rune or someone else does that, I'm not going to say they're a threat necessarily to win one of the next big Master Series in Madrid or Rome.
Stevie, your first impressions?
I mean, Holger's been a bit of feast or famine this year. I mean, just looking at his results, it's outside of Australia where he made round of 16. I mean, it's first round loss, second round loss, first round loss, retire, final Indian Wells, and now, winning Barcelona. So, I mean, his upside is huge, but he's just the ability to put it that regular kind of day forward, day in and day out is not there. I think he is a bit of a victim of his own success over the last couple of years, was top 5 in the world, winning Paris a couple years ago. And then just there's a lot of chaos in his box, his coaching box and his kind of his team. It just seems like there's always something going on. And I feel like hopefully if he gets some stability in that regard, it's going to be huge for him. Obviously, he's still very young. The talent level is there. He is going to be just fine in the long run, but it's something that he's just got to figure out week in and week out, because he has this high-end ability, and now it's just time for him to kind of prove it in these bigger moments. Like Sam has said, he's lost 13 matches in a row against guys in the top 5, which for somebody of his level is, you'd think he's going to clip one of those at some point, not lose 13 like that. Yeah.
Jack, what do you think of Rune? Would you put him into the, right now, the upper echelon of, I'm talking would you put him in the rarefied air right now with Alcaraz and Sinner and maybe Zverev as far as clay court players going forward with these next 3-4 weeks culminating with the French Open?
No, I wouldn't yet. I mean, there's not a whole lot to add after Sam and Stevie, because I agree with all that. I think this week and the start of his year going in and winning this title kind of just sums up what I kind of think of Holger. His ceiling is very high, and he can play at an insane level. But his low can also be pretty low for where he's ranked. And I think that kind of shows with his results, what Stevie was just saying, with kind of day in and day out, in producing that level of tennis, which obviously isn't easy. We all know that, but he shows us his level yesterday and winning the tournament and beating these players, and some of them handily. But then we also see a lower level from him. So yeah, I think until that gap and margin kind of comes in, then I probably can't put him in that top echelon.
Yeah. I agree. I would put him in tier 2. If tier 1 is Sinner, Alcaraz, and Zverev, who we're going to get to really, really quickly, who we might think is back, I would put maybe Rune just behind them as far as contenders go going forward. But let's move on to Munich. Just mentioned Zverev. Big title for him. Taking the 500 in his hometown. Is he back, guys? Like absolutely massive. He in the one of his matches, I think in the quarterfinals, he was down 7-6, 4-2, coming back, winning that match 6-4 in the third against
Greek sport.
Greek Sport. Yeah, forgot which Dutch guy it was, but yeah, coming back and winning a close one like that, like that's what he hasn't done since Australia. Like he hasn't had that like gut check match that he's come back and won. He did that in the quarterfinals there and completely rolled from that point forward, taking out Ben Shelton in the final. So let's talk Sasha Zverev right now. Sam, is he back? We know how good he is in these Masters events, like Madrid and Rome. He's won those before. What do you think about him, I guess, going forward?
Like, yeah, he's like almost back. Much needed win. Like he needed that more than anyone on tour. You said that, I think it was that quarterfinal match against Greek Sport. Greek Sport beat him in Indian Wells. I don't know if you saw the celebration afterwards when he beat Greek Sport. He like did that old school Sangha celebration where he ran and like jumped up in the crowd.
Yeah, saw that. Yeah.
With the fist pump. And to do it in Munich, there's probably extra pressure for him to win this in Germany too. So that was also a good sign. But yeah, I feel like this win in Munich is going to like spark his confidence and kind of like ignite the missing flame that he's had since the Australian Open. And yeah, I'm now expecting him to put together, at least in Madrid, Rome, and the French Open, 2 out of the 3. I'm expecting like big results from him, like semifinals or better.
Yeah, Stevie, what do you think about Sasha, and what do you think about his, I guess, performance in the finals against Shelton? I think that was probably his best match of the week, and to be able to pull that off in the finals should give him a lot of confidence going forward.
I was going to get this take right eventually, that Sasha was going to find his form and be back to the player that he is. Look, the most important thing for him this week, I mean, you guys both kind of touched on it. I mean, Greek Sport served for the match at 5-4 in the second against him in the quarters. And to get out of a match like that, to have your back against the wall and to come out victorious, then he started to play his best tennis. And you can tell in the semis and finals, you were like, okay, like this is now his tournament. He kind of got through that moment of adversity that he needed to get through in any one of the number of the last tournaments that he didn't capitalize on those opportunities. He did it in his hometown of Munich. And then, playing Shelton in the final, Ben is a phenomenal tennis player, but it's tough as an American. We all know, like, you get to a certain point against these really good clay quarters and you just feel like you're a bit in over your head from a movement standpoint, just playing X's and O's. And that's what it looked like in the finals. There was just a different weight class, Sasha on the clay against Ben, but it's a big week for Sasha, a huge confidence boost for a surface that he is very comfortable on going into, I think, his best chance to win a major is on the clay. I still think he has a chance on the hard courts, but of the next 2 majors, the French, I think, is overwhelmingly his favorite to get the job done.
Yeah. And Jack, I want to go pass it off to you to talk a little Ben Shelton. Last week on the pod, which we chose we snake drafted our like clay court men's teams, and since you weren't there, we tried to give you a crappy team, and it was Sam that gave you Ben Shelton.
Sam was almost right.
Yes, and you're right, Stevie. Ben saved just like Zverev did in the quarterfinals. He had saved like 4 or 5 match points against a qualifier, Borna Gojo, another college tennis player. Very first round, like Ben had to just absolutely grind through that match. And then obviously it seemed to have freed up from that point and made the finals. But Ben Shelton on clay, maybe let's talk like these 2 tournaments coming up, like Madrid and Rome, given the conditions, especially in Madrid. Like, do you think he could think Ben, I guess I want to ask you a question. Do you think Ben is maybe, would you say he's one of the top 2 clay court players right now as far as Americans go?
Probably. I'm trying to think of like who like our top clay court. I mean, yeah, and I think, like you said, with the conditions coming up as well, like Madrid, I mean, if he serves like he can, I'm sure it was a tournament that you absolutely love to play in. For fans, maybe that don't know, Madrid, there's some altitude. The ball flies there, like in a good way. So like serves are coming in, they just feel much bigger. They feel much heavier. The kick serves and everything was kind of like kick serves, forehands are so lethal there and work really well. So I don't see why he couldn't put together a great result. But yeah, I'm very happy with my pick there from last week, and back myself always. And no, I think, yeah, I mean, I have him in the top 2 as an American clay courter. I mean, I don't know who.
Ooh, top 2.
Who else is in there with him?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think who's like.
I would say like Tommy, Sebastian,
Fritz.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, I think Ben is not better than those guys on clay.
I feel like all the Americans are the same. They're all the same on hard court, clay court, grass court.
Yeah, I would say Ben's probably. I'm with Stevie there.
Well, it's also hard. Like, these guys aren't going to have better results, right? Because we don't play enough tournaments. It's pretty surprising that Ben or these guys actually are playing like Barcelona's. I mean, that never happened in our careers. It was Houston, Rome, Madrid, maybe Lyon, Geneva, Paris. You know, throw the clay court stuff away in Chartres and move on.
Can I get pet peeve of mine?
Yeah, go.
Shelton made the finals, and like everywhere you read, you're like, Shelton, the first American to make a semifinal or better in a 500 level clay court event since like whatever year. 500 level clay court events like basically weren't even around when we played. They make it sound like he's like the only guy on American that's like did anything on clay in like 25 years.
And this is the first year Munich's been a 500.
Yes, like, it's the stupidest headline.
Yeah.
It's always a 250. Like, no Americans ever played Barcelona. Barcelona's been a 500 for a long time, but no Americans ever played there. Like, a few Americans did. I did see that stat somewhere, like, a little bit annoying.
It's so annoying. It's the stupidest stat I've ever seen. Not to take away anything from Ben, but.
Yeah, like, Munich was a little bit weaker than Barcelona, right, too? I don't know. Like,
yes.
He could have lost first round, right?
Yeah, he could have lost first round. Like, he went into Barcelona. Credit where it's due. He went into Barcelona like not playing that well. He lost his first match in Miami, lost his first match in Monte Carlo, like 2 really close matches and both losses. Could have lost a third close match, first round in Munich. Gutted through it. That should bode very well for him going forward. But again, I'm with you, Sam. Like, I don't remember what the stat was, but it was.
Yeah, it's not a Ben thing. It's like the media is like dumb headlines. Yeah,
yeah, of course. I did see, Sam, that Trinity Rodman was in his box for, I think their first time there was like in the semifinal match. He took out Cerundolo. Is that right?
Yeah, that was a big win. Got to feel good. You got the new girlfriend over, first time live watching you play. You pop a good result. Like, that's always good for the mentality. That bodes well for the relationship, right? She's not going to be frustrated, like thinking it's her fault that he didn't play well.
Yeah, and his dad's thinking like, all right, well, he's still focused. He's not losing his focus.
Exactly. Tennis relationships are all based on results. It's frustrating.
They totally are.
Like, it's all based on results.
It's all result based.
It has nothing to do with like if like you have someone new on the team or part of the team, and like it's nothing to do if your opponent played incredibly well. It's
or if you just played like shit.
That you did well, or their fault that you did poorly, or it's on them that you did really well. So there's kind of like this seems like,
extra pressure with the new girlfriend watching him first time live, and he came through making a final.
And now they can coast for a while. He even has a couple bad results here coming up. It's fine because he already had the good one. It's not like you're not trying to prove your relationship to everybody.
That's it. Real quick before we move on to the WTA event in Stuttgart, like just like how bad are our picks just in general? Like Monte Carlo was a complete disaster. Munich. I chose Lehechka to take the title. He didn't even play. I mean, we are like the Black Widow of picks. Like Sam, you chose Cerundolo. Not a bad pick. Lost in the semifinals. Give you a little bit of credit there.
No, I chose Cerundolo, and I was feeling good about it. I thought Cerundolo was going to beat Ben.
I think I had Alcaraz and Monte Carlo, John. Not all of our picks have been bad.
We have a lot of bad picks.
Yeah, I know.
You
did. I mean, I'll give you a little bit of credit there.
I did jump on your back with a Lehechka one.
I went Zverev in Monte Carlo, loses his first match, and Lehechka in Munich. So really, I think it's just me, guys.
No, I was bad. I tried to pick a bad player for Jack, Shelton, and he made the final.
I didn't even need to be around to have the best pick. It's just,
I've been hyping up Casper Ruud for the last few weeks. He's now ranked 15 in the world for the first time in like 9 years.
Still your best pick for the clay season, Sam? Or are we?
No. Casper's no longer like my.
You're just going to jump off. There's still 2 Masters Series in the Grand Slam.
Are we allowed to do that in our games?
Whoa!
Can I ditch Casper?
Well, since we can repick now that I'm here. We could do that.
No,
Sam has moved the goalpost.
You can't ditch Casper. Former guest of the pod. You got to stick with your guy.
I'm riding with Casper.
But like I feel like we could be onto something here. Like if we can attract like a betting sponsor on the pod, like he can just like
fade us.
Like for our fans out there, just fade us, right? Like whatever we choose, go the opposite. Like you should make money.
Yep.
It'd be a good thing to do. It'd be kind of catchy. So it's like, it's one of those, we're not like touting our great picks. Follow us, you're going to win. No, it's just fade us and you're going to win. Might be a good strategy. Anyways, the betting sponsors out there, think about that. We stink. We really, really stink. Okay, Stuttgart. Also, did Sasha? He won that car, right? He's posing like with his trophy, like leaning up on a BMW. Like, surely he got the car. Can we have confirmation of that?
I can't confirm, but I would assume so.
Do you guys find it strange? I mean, is it me or is it weird that like Dominic Thiem is like driving out the car? He's like barely removed from tennis, and he's already like a ceremonial like trophy guy. Like
wow,
it was
close by.
I just feel but I'm saying like I feel bad that like his career should still be with like the Sashas and stuff. Like I would think it would hurt for him to like drive those cars out there when he should potentially, like if his body held up, would still be winning them.
I got no issue with it.
Yeah, I got no issue with it. He's gonna stay close to tennis. It's like, it's like,
I mean, I have no issue with it. I'm just like bummed for him.
you, Stevie, driving up to,
So you driving the Porsche to Delray.
yeah. I have no issue with that. I kind of like that. I think we want to keep the your players from the past still relevant. That's what we're trying to do on this pod. So,
Stevie, if Houston asked you to like present the trophy to the winner next year, would you say no?
Oh no, I'm just saying. Of course I would. I'm saying I feel bad for him that he should still be contending for those titles. I have no issues with it. I'm glad he's still involved in tennis. I just feel bad that like he should be still winning that tournament rather than driving the car out there just physically. But yeah, if Houston asked me to come give a trophy out, for sure I'm there, no doubt.
yeah. What about Nottingham, Stevie? You won Nottingham a long time ago.
I've won Nottingham twice, thank you, in the Challenger format and Tour format.
You one of the best players ever there.
Hey, what if Houston asked you to just come and give the doubles winner the trophy?
No. I think I only played doubles there once. I think it was with Jack. Do you remember that, Jack, or no?
We did.
I thought it was with you. Like we were trying to we played like Nico Almagro and I think Felly like out on the side court like late at night once. It was rotten.
All right. We're not talking about your Houston doubles. Let's go on to Stuttgart. Ostapenko with the big title, and one of the big storylines of the week was, by the way, she just destroyed everyone. She beat Sabalenka 6-4, 6-1 in the final. Like, that's incredible. This field was absolutely loaded. And, of course, she continued her dominance over Iga Swiatek. I think I got that exactly right, by the way.
There's a silent N in Swiatek.
There's a silent N. And she is now, I think this has been talked about a lot. Like, and I want to, pass it off to you guys here. Can you guys remember like whether another women's matchup or a men's matchup that like a head to head that really makes you scratch your head? Because this one, everyone's scratching the head on this. She's 6-0 against Iga. And every single time after she wins in her post-match interview, she's like, yeah, I'm good. I thought, and I knew I was going to beat her. Like, she has supreme confidence against Iga. And she did it again in Stuttgart on Iga's favorite surface. Incredible week for Ostapenko. Sam, like, she won the French Open years back. Hasn't really gotten to those heights since then, but like, she could be back right now. But again, I guess my question was, can you think of a head-to-head that has made you like scratch your head over the last like 20, 30 years? Because this has got to take the cake. Like, Ostapenko 6-0 over Iga.
You're right. This takes the cake. I've never seen this before. And especially Ostapenko, I mean, she's ranked 24 right now. It's not like she's been top 5 for the last few years. It's one thing if like the player ranked 3 is 5-0 and 6-0 against the player ranked 2. But this is a player ranked like in the between like 15 and 30 who's 6-0 against the player who's basically been ranked 1 or 2 for the last 5 years and is 6-0. It's so weird, so odd. I've never seen anything like it. Like, she's got the mental edge over Swiatek. I feel like at this point, Swiatek doesn't think that she can beat her, and it's just like an anomaly that I've never seen.
I've got one for you on the men's side.
Okay.
What?
In a 2-year stretch from 2012 to 2014, 2 guys very good. Berdych has a 12-0 record against Kevin Anderson.
That's a good one, but
in a 2-year stretch, 2012 to 2014, he was 12-0.
Yeah, I mean, but he's always was ranked higher than Kevin.
Yeah. That's early Kevin.
Yeah.
12-0 is pretty crazy. I mean, come on, you don't sneak one of those?
I think we've talked about this on our pod, like maybe a handful of episodes ago. Like for me, like I think I was like 0-6 against Jeremy Shardy. Like no one talks about that.
That's weird.
But, like I was always ranked ahead of him. Like every single time. Like Jack, is there anyone that like head scratching losses, like someone that like, you just had a bad record against and you were always ranked higher than? Because this is what this is. Ostapenko is always ranked, of course, lower than Iga. She's 1 or 2 in the world. Seems like the last 4 years, that's what she's been. But what, Jack, what about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, I mean, probably I had a lot of losses in my career. So probably, I don't know who my kryptonite was, but I did just look up like some crazy head to heads in tennis in general. And her body has a winning record against Federer, Nadal, Agassi, Rios, Quirton, Safin, Kafelnikov. That's pretty wild. He's like
small sample size, but that is pretty wild.
That's to me. I mean,
remember that shirt he used to wear? Didn't he? He was the one that wore that. Like he wore that
like an ugly shirt.
Had like the holes in the back.
God, it was like the holes in the back. Thank you,
dude,
Stevie.
They were like on his like shoulder blades. It was so weird.
Yes, it was on his shoulder blades. You gotta look this up. Her body shirts were shocking. All right, let's keep the convo on Ostapenko. Can she contend at the French Open this year and win her second Roland Garros title? I'm gonna start and I'm gonna say unequivocally no. No offense to her, because Stuttgart was indoors. I think with the way she hits the ball, she hits the ball so flat. I think just those indoor clay conditions suited her well. Now, she has won the French Open before. I just think it's a different animal going up there, especially trying to, take that title and maybe face Iga again. I think I'd like to see that rematch at the French Open. That'd be very, very intriguing. If she can take out Iga at a tournament she's really dominated over the last couple of years. I'm going to say no. I still think there's 5 or 6 players easily that have a better chance of winning than her. No offense to her, but that's just my opinion. I'm horrible at predictions, though, so I probably just...
So should we just crown her the 2025 French Open champion?
We should. Sam, what do you think?
I don't know. Indoor clay, outdoor clay, green clay, red clay. Clay is clay. There's no difference.
Indoor clay is different.
No, it's not. We make the biggest...
No,
we always talk about, oh my gosh,
dude.
a player coming from like a hard court to a clay court, like it's a big deal. Same thing with like indoor clay versus outdoor clay. It's the same. Indoor hard court versus outdoor hard court. It's like basically the same.
I disagree.
Completely disagree.
I disagree with your disagree. Like this is,
what kind of take is this?
It's not a bad
there's no
take.
conditions,
clay, guys.
No, there's no conditions, dude. Everything's the same each and every match. You play it outside. It could be hot one day, freezing the next day, windy, sunny, drizzly.
You're just playing on clay in those conditions.
John, don't
Stevie, back me up, please.
Don't go into
I understand there's little difference. There's little differences, but like clay is clay at the end of the day. Like it's not like a massive difference.
Sam probably felt that the Houston center court was the same clay as French Open center court, is what I'm hearing.
I think the same results. I think the same good clay court. I finaled Houston, buddy. and won it one time.
No, but it's ridiculous. It's different. Come on. It was the clay courts are so different. I've never played on an indoor clay court. I guess outside of like Madrid, if you want to count those with the roofs. But no, it plays so different. So yeah, I'm with John on this. I think the conditions for her, as long as it's a hot and warm, French Open couple weeks, she has a chance. But other than that, if it's cold, Swiatek is going to be the overwhelming favorite once again. And then I think, like John said, there's going to be a few after: Sabalenka, Jess, Coco, Emma Navarro, you name it. So I think she's definitely down the pecking order on that one. But if it's hot, I think she has a chance for sure.
But my thing is just it's never consistently hot through 2 weeks there.
No, of course. Yeah.
I mean, the French Open's just got so much variance.
So if she gets lucky on every other day, if it's like 85 degrees.
Yeah. Jack, what are you on Sam's side here? Is clay or is indoor clay or just indoor? Is indoor different than outdoors, like or not?
I completely disagree with him on the hard court. Indoor to outdoor hard court, very different. Indoor to outdoor clay, I'm more on his side. I don't think it's as big of a difference as people think. I think like the amount of times we played Davis Cup and they put clay indoors, it's still slow. It's still clay, kind of like he says. There's obviously Mother Nature and weather aspects to being outdoors, but the actual play of indoor to outdoor clay I think is definitely more similar than like indoor to outdoor hard, in my opinion.
I hope Ostapenko wins the French Open and the weather's horrible for 2 straight weeks.
She is. John just congratulated her by picking her not to win.
If that happens, I actually
true.
She should thank me. Hope this should motivate her as bad as my predictions
we're
are.
like Drake when he posts his bet slips, always losing. Like
exactly.
Yeah.
At least I took a stance on this one. Said unequivocally no, she's not a contender at the French Open, but doesn't mean I'm not rooting for her. I love her game, and it'd be awesome to see her win a second.
Unequivocally not a contender. If she makes semifinals, are you right or
that's
wrong?
A good question.
Yeah. I'm wrong if she makes semifinals.
Okay,
I'm wrong.
Second week, or are we?
I think quarters are better. You're wrong.
No, I think she's what is her ranking right now after taking winning Stuttgart. So I mean, a lot of momentum. We'll see. She's got 2 massive tournaments ahead before the French Open. We'll see. She's won it before, so she could do it again. But I don't think so. Okay, moving on before we close this out. Did you guys see this weird, like, the ITIA came out with this like bizarre statement about showering or whatnot when players, for doping tests after matches. So I'm gonna just read this quote really quick, guys. Okay, so the ITA has previously worked at, and previously the ITF, has worked hard to ensure that showers following matches can amount to a permissible delay to doping control, particularly when not showering could have a detrimental effect on the health and well-being of a player. However, showering is not an entitlement, and it is for this reason that the ITIA kindly requests that when showering players adhere to the requirements to stay in. That the players adhere to the requirement to stay in full view of the chaperone observing them at all times. And if they're not comfortable with this, we suggest the consideration that they don't shower pretty much. Like, isn't this already the case as is? And I think we should actually give a little background on what a doping test after a match looks like, what it all entails. Sam, what am I missing here? Like, hasn't this always been the case? I don't know why they had to come out with this statement.
Yeah. So like you said, to go back and tell people what a doping test looks like after a match. Usually when you win or lose a match, you can do either. Right when you leave the court, a doping agent will meet you at the gate, at the clipboard. They'll escort you. They'll follow you. You won't go within 10 feet of them the entire time. They'll follow you back to the locker room. You'll usually go in, shower. Like, they'll ask you to like keep the door open, honestly, so they can like see you while you shower. Then from there, you'll change. You can stretch if you want. Again, the doping agent is right there next to you, and then they will escort you to the doping area where you like give a sample. And it's never been anything that anyone's talked about. I'm assuming this came out because a player, I don't know if it was on the WTA, the ATP had an issue with the person watching them shower. I'm guessing that's what happened, and it turned into like a big thing. I don't know. I don't really how I feel about this. I don't necessarily think they should watch you shower. I don't think people are in there like doing anything weird. But like, what could you do? I don't know. Maybe you could like, this is kind of disgusting, but like you could like go pee in the shower and that like flushes something out that was already in you or something.
This doesn't make any sense. No. I mean, this is just standard procedure. I don't know. At least it's how it's been for the entirety of our careers. Like, it's annoying. It's very, very annoying when you would like, if you lose a match and you want to leave, you got to stay there. You don't give enough of a sample. You got to wait around. Like, it's just annoying, like the whole process, but you get it like from a tennis integrity standpoint of what you have to do to follow the rules. But kind of a weird statement. I don't know what, obviously something transpired to have them release this statement, but this doesn't change any like like what is happening in the drug testing pool of how they do it. Like, it's annoying. Just bottom line, it's very annoying. This is something that I feel like the drug testing thing is the only thing that I was super excited to never be a part of again, to like have somebody follow you around, show up at your door, any of this stuff. Yeah. So, but this is pretty much standard practice.
Yeah. Jack is as the, like probably the biggest sweater of our group. Is there anything, not probably, like definitely. Without a doubt you were. Yeah, definitely. Unequivocally. There you go. Is there anything more annoying than losing a match, whether it be a long or short match, and you're pissed off and you walk in the locker room and you see that doping control agent with their clipboard come up to you and they ask for your signature? Is there anything more annoying than that?
No, that was going to be my exact point to this, is like most times that we would get tested after matches were after losses, because then you're out of the tournament and then it's not as annoying because you're not like having to like do your recovery, come back the next day, and it's kind of like prolonging your recovery process or how long you're at the courts. So yeah, you would know, as all big competitors here, you'd shake the guy's hand you just lost. You're fuming inside, pissed off, and that clipboard dude is standing right there at the side of the court. You can't even get your rackets in your bag in time and like zip it up and like even whatever before he's like, God, can you sign this after you're getting tested? And I'm like, there's definitely times where things came out of my mouth I probably didn't want to say, but he was just in the line of fire, and it's just they're right there. And then, yeah, now you're going in. All you want is like some peace and quiet maybe for a second. Now you have to leave the shower curtain open or the door, and they're just staring at you. And you're just like, so, yeah, like Stevie said, beyond annoying, beyond frustrating. And it was always at the worst times. So, yeah, I don't miss that at all either. But, yeah, it's quite annoying.
Did you guys ever hear that one story? It was like when Roddick lost first round, I think, at the 2004 U.S. Open to Mueller. And he lost and then got drug tested. And then he apparently just started running sprints inside like the tunnel at Ash. And the doping control people were like doing shifts, like chasing him around, because they like couldn't. I don't know if it's true or not. I want to like ask Andy.
Yeah, I did hear that. I thought it was like a night match, and he just like kept him there for like hours, and like they had to just keep taking turns.
Yeah, like running shifts, chasing around like the inside like tunnels of Ash.
I've never heard this story. That was when Andy had that like American Express campaign. Like, can he get his mojo back? What was it, some sort of mojo thing? And he lost first round.
Well, he won the U.S. Open 2003, and this was like leading into the 2004 U.S. Open. And I think he lost first round. And I was just a story I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. I wish we can ask Andy.
Yeah, we've all had stories with the doping control agents after a loss, and like, honestly, like I've had some moments I wish I could take back. They're just doing their job. Like they were assigned to you to get a sample, a urine sample. It's a tough job for them. It really is. And I empathize with them, excuse me. Because 90% of the time you got to come up to a player that's pissed off after they lost a match, and you got to follow them around while they're eating, in the shower, watch them as they, we go into a cup. It's not the most glamorous job, but they're doing their job to keep our sport clean. But anyways, this statement just seems, I don't know, just a bit redundant. I mean, it's always been the protocol forever. I don't know why they had to release it. We don't know the background of that, but it's kind of interesting. We saw it make some waves on X this week, so figured we talk about it a little bit and shine some background on what exactly goes on in a post-match drug test. But the big tournament coming up this week, obviously, is the Madrid Masters, which seems like this particular tournament, for whatever, it feels like it goes on for 21 days, not 12 days. It's just like it never ends. There's days off all the way throughout the tournament. I don't like that format, but we're not going to talk about that. We can, I guess, but let's just go big picture predictions, not necessarily like as bad as we are with predictions, listeners. Like, so this is your chance to like fade us and go against the guys and girls that we are picking. But how about like big picture? How about we try to do our best to give like a Final Four in each side of the tournament, on the men's side and the women's side. Madrid, Jack, I want to go with you. Have you looked at the draw? I think it just came out yesterday. So what do you think?
So what we're picking? Just
let's try to pick. Yeah, let's go like four. Let's try to pick the semifinals, finals.
So instead of just getting one wrong, let's get all four wrong. Smart.
Let's get all four wrong instead of one wrong. We're doing something different. Thank you, Stevie.
Let's just be committed to getting nobody right.
How brutal is the top half, real quick? It's brutal. Zverev, Davidovich Fokina, Cerundolo, Arthur Fies, like in that top section, round of 16.
Yeah, just a lot of good dirt ballers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take Zverev in the confidence to get to the end of the top half, so semis there. If Felix gets 4 walkovers, then I might put him in there.
Defending finalist.
Yeah. No, top half, I'm gonna go with Zverev and I'm gonna go with Zverev and Fritzy in the semis.
Yeah.
I just think the big serving there. There's a lot of big servers there. And then the bottom half, I'm going to go with. I kind of like Novak's. I like Novak's. Novak's going to make the semis, the top part of that, and then. I'm gonna sit. No, Alcaraz. Yeah, Alcaraz.
All right, Sam, go.
All right, I'm not going to take the 1 and 2 seeds like Jack just did.
Okay, well, you just got more
so
bad
obvious.
picks coming. All right.
I don't know. I can't pick anyone.
well,
we got like,
who do you,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
well, I don't know. We got like
what are you gonna
Zverev, Rune, Alcaraz, Brooksby. Those are the 4 clay court winners. Prior to that, then we had like Draper and Mensick. I'm gonna give me Mickelson to make a run. That's my pick.
Okay.
All right, Mickelson. All right, let's shorten it. Let's go to like dark horse then. My bad there. Stevie, like who do you got?
Dark horse? Oof.
Dark horse.
Like just of the whole thing?
Yeah, on the men's side.
Dibs on Mickelson.
I mean,
can it be a seated?
how
dark
low do they
horse?
have to be? You know, can they be seated?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take Berrettini. In Madrid, big serving courts,
that.
fast. So
All right. I'm gonna go with Sam's boy on Fonseca, who could possibly play our good friend Tommy Paul in the second round. So that'd be a blockbuster second round match. Also, potentially, I don't know if you guys saw, if I read this right. Yep. Pesci Pericard could play Shelton in the second round there in Madrid.
Yeah.
So that's going to be some big serving. If those two played, which they probably would on one of those like side 2 courts and not the stadium court, it's just massive serving.
imagine the sound off the walls of those courts with those guys serving.
I know.
Pesci Pericard's been having a bad year off the back of
On
like
clay.
a great
What's just tough on the
2024.
clay, dude? Like it's just
Yeah, the movements. Yeah, it's just.
wait till the grass, wait till the summer swing. Like he's going to be.
Yeah, it's just not as easy to serve volley on the clay.
No, the grass. He's not. I don't think he's top 32 right now. He can go into Wimbledon like unseeded. That'd be a nightmare for people.
Yeah,
Nightmare.
he was a nightmare last year as a lucky loser taking out
Yeah.
Sebi Quarter first round, which is a ridiculous draw and for ridiculously bad draw for Sebi. What about on the women's side in Madrid?
I'm gonna snag Nicholas Jarry as my dark horse. By the way.
There you go. That's a good one.
Jari's good. I think
Going
Jari's
out on
so
a
good.
limb.
Jari finaled Rome last year.
Yep.
Especially if he has the nose tape going, he's unbeatable.
Yeah, he'd be breathing well.
His ranking's about to fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's like
That's
4th
600
or
points.
5th year or something. So, he did final Rome. You're exactly right. What about on the women's side? Who do we like? Do we think it's I'm going to use this term again. Is it all chalk on the women's side, or is anyone that can sneak up for you guys and make a deep run, maybe even win this tournament? Sam, what do you think?
I think it's chalk, as you guys say. I'm looking like Sabalenka, Swiatek, Pagula. You know, in the top. Once we get to the quarterfinals, I feel like it's going to be like 6 of the top 8 seeds in the quarterfinals of the women's draw. Like no surprises on the women's side, unlike the men's side, where I think it's going to be like just chaos everywhere.
Can't wait for both of those predictions to be opposite.
Way to just pick the 1 and 2 and 3 seeds. That's
No, I picked 6 of the 8 actually, so I got even more than that. Jack.
Stevie, what do you think?
I don't know about. I mean, on the women's side, Sam's been in my head now about these difference of the clay courts, indoors, outdoors. I'm just like confused because I'll take Diana Schneider for a kind of a dark horse.
Love her.
I mean, not really dark horse. She's top 15 in the world, but she could have a tough third round against Ostapenko, so that could be a fun one. But I'll take her to kind of have a deep run. Lefty, love the bandana. She's at North Carolina
I love it.
State. No, right? North Carolina State. Went there. So fun to root for somebody in the college world, and think she'll have a good run.
Jack, you got any predictions?
Yeah. I'm going to go with a former pod guest, and I'm going to go with one Ons Jabeur to
Okay.
bring her craft out on the clay and then kind of put on a show. She's got tough. She could play Jessie Pegula her second match, but whatever. Yeah, she might drop shot slices, throw the kitchen sink at all those ladies in that draw and see what happens.
I'm going to go with, I say it all the time, and eventually kind of like Stevie choosing Sasha Zverev. Like I might eventually get right. I'm going to go with Emma Navarro. It's not that much of a dark horse, but she's been a little quiet lately, her results. Just a little bit.
If we just keep picking something, it's going to be right eventually.
Yeah, we're gonna look like geniuses.
Yeah.
At some point, you got to look right.
Okay, so we just gave our horrible predictions for Madrid, everyone. So that's it on Madrid, and we have a little bit of trivia to close out this Monday episode. So we're going to see what what that is and see how bad we are at trivia, because we're not good at that either.
We stink at everything.
So before we get into this trivia, as always, we want to encourage everyone who listens to Nothing Major to head to our website at nothingmajorshow.com to submit your questions or any feedback you have. That's where we are pooling our questions and feedback from. It's the easiest way for us to do it. So nothingmajorshow.com. Please go to there if you have any questions or comments. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, here's the question. And it is, who's the only player, and I know the answer to this, to beat Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic in the same Madrid tournament? I know the answer.
I love when John's confident. I like to let him roll with it.
I think I know the answer.
Sam thinks he knows the answer.
So I feel like Jack and Stevie guessed first.
Yeah,
Then I'll
y'all
give
guess
my
first.
guess.
Same tournament. Golly.
I feel like Nick beat them, but not on the same tournament. But he's beaten at least.
Is
Fed
all
and
sorry?
Nadal
Was
there,
it?
right?
Oh, in the same Madrid tournament.
Yeah.
Or maybe he
I'm
did
gonna
beat
go
Nadal.
Murray. I don't know. It's a good question. I'm gonna go Murray. I'm just not confident on my behalf.
Sam, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
No, I feel like I'm not now. I was thinking what Jack's thinking. I was thinking Nick, but maybe it wasn't at the same.
right.
I don't think it was in the same. Yeah.
I think the answer is David Nalbandian.
Oh,
like when it was a hardcore.
it was on hard.
Boom!
It was on hard.
Oh, that's good, John.
Yeah,
Like
I
2000,
knew that one.
like 2008
Wow.
before it went to clay or
exactly.
something.
Yeah.
2007.
The indoor tournament.
I was thinking clay.
2007.
Good call. Good call, John.
Yeah,
2 in a
that's
row
good.
the last couple
Yeah,
weeks with your
good stuff.
confidence. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I've given myself some a little leeway to be confident again and miss one. You guys can't cancel me. So.
All right.
All right.